first retirement project was to build a self-wicking veggie garden up the side of the path. My motivation was to grow healthy organic veggies, and I had to work within the constraints that I had on site. So I don't actually own the land, my neighbour does, and she was quite happy for me to use it for my veggie boxes, provided I didn't put a lot of water down the house. So moving to polystyrene boxes as the containers seemed ideal. And from a website that I'd come across from a guy, Larry Hall, his rain gutter grow system, what he did is he ran watering PVC pipes under containers to wick up into the beds, and this seemed like the perfect solution for this space. I also came across a website called Vertical Veg that talks about planting in small spaces, and they make reference to a Canadian rooftop gardening site, and they have got a lot of technical information about what surface area you need in contact with the water for a particular surface area box. And I learned that for my polystyrene boxes I actually needed a minimum of 2 wicking pots. So I ended up with 2 PVC pipes, and it was quite tricky to get them absolutely level, which is of course a requirement to get the water to sit properly because of the foundations of the existing house. But by jiggling with the pipes, I was able to get 2 perfectly level PVC pipes running along the area that I wanted to plant. At this stage I should mention that I went with stormwater PVC pipes as opposed to pressure PVC pipes, because I didn't realise there was a difference in the chemical composition of the pipes, and I figured that the application doesn't require pressure, so stormwater pipes would be just fine. What I now know is that there's actually quite a difference in the chemical composition, and that the high pressure PVC pipes are actually suitable for potable water or drinking water, whereas stormwater pipes aren't, because they're made from recycled plastics and people don't know where the plastics have actually come from. Or perhaps I should say pressure pipes are more suitable for potable water than actually suitable. So to give the polystyrene boxes some protection from the path, I built a little, just a treated pine, wasn't going to come into contact with anything, box for the polystyrene boxes to rest on. And I then went and drilled holes at appropriate points on the polystyrene boxes. I marked where the holes needed to go on the PVC pipe, and I drilled corresponding holes so that there was now an opening from the inside of the polystyrene box down into the PVC pipe. The holes drilled were 3-inch holes, and it was quite tricky drilling into the PVC. I then purchased some things called net pots, which I use in hydroponics, from a company called Aqua Gardening online, and I wrapped them in geotextile fabric, and I then pushed the net cup through into the PVC pipe, and I spread the fabric out over the bottom of the polystyrene box. So in effect now, my container wasn't just the polystyrene box, but it was the polystyrene box with the net pots going into the PVC pipe. On each PVC pipe I put a mini float valve. I used the brand Carrick, and I bought them from Amazon, to control the level of the water in the PVC pipe so that there would always be water in it. And I rigged this up to a 100-litre black plastic rainwater tank, which I got from Aldi. I also made a insect screen cover, which I put around the opening of the float valve so that I didn't get mozzies breeding in the valve, and I just secured the insect screen with Velcro. I then went ahead and put soil in the boxes and in the wicking cups. I used a mixture of cow and compost. I put in cocoa peat, and I also put in a little bit of blood and bone, some a dolomite lime, and volcanic rock dust, just to increase the mineral content of the soil. And I then planted a number of seedlings. We then had 36-degree days in a Sydney summer, and my seedlings didn't do that well. And then I put a mulch, just sugarcane mulch on the top, and of course my garden then went from strength to strength. And I was so impressed with my polystyrene boxes that I decided to expand the wicking bed system to a couple of other places in my garden. I should mention that my garden is minute, but I do have a couple of patio areas that I thought this self-wicking concept would be perfect. So I managed to get hold of some bread trays, and what I did is I mounted the PVC pipes inside the bread trays, and then basically did exactly what I'd done in the garden. So I flipped them over, balanced the polystyrene boxes on the a diamond mesh surface of the bread trays, did the same thing, drilled holes through the polystyrene boxes, the bread tray, the PVC pipe, put net cups in, spread the fabric out over the bottom of the polystyrene box, and rigged the boxes up to on float valves to rainwater tanks. And you can see the veggies are quite ecstatic and producing really good crops with this arrangement. Because I travel a bit and I'd read about the benefit to a garden from having a constant water supply or constant dampness in the soil, I decided to extend the system to just a normal veggie bed. So what I did is I got two PVC pipes with that were interconnected, and you can see the valve opening has actually got like a bucket around it to stop soil going in, which I just sealed with Sikaflex. And then what I did is I took this arrangement and I connected it again on a float valve to the garden watering system. I put geofabric textile lining at the bottom of the bed, which are just raised with sleepers to stop soil from going out. And then again I got net cups, wrapped the net pots in the geotextile fabric, put the net cups into the holes, spread the fabric out over the pipes, put soil in both the net cups and the bed, planted out the beds, and planted veggies. I was quite happy with the way that my garden was going, and I went on an organic garden course just to learn how to do things better, and I showed the tutor what I'd done, and she said to me that she would never grow edible food or vegetables in contact with polystyrene or PVC because of the carcinogens that they'd leach. And I was just absolutely shattered. I had basically spent ages researching what people were doing to grow vegetables, and I thought that I had really adopted best practices from all the articles that I'd found on the web, and then to be told that I was growing my veggies in carcinogens and not at all organically was just a tremendous shock. Anyway, I went home and I started researching on Google what materials were actually food safe. I found Anne's Micro Gardener site, and I discovered that not all plastics are created equal. In fact, the plastics that are to be avoided in contact with food are plastics with the recycle code 3 for polyvinyl chloride or vinyl, and 6 for polystyrene. And of course I've used both extensively in my garden. The question is now where to from here. I want to maintain the footprint area of the planters that I've got, but as my intent was to have an organic garden and not a carcinogenic garden, I clearly need to rethink the materials that I've used, and any ideas that anyone may have for creating an organic garden within these constraints would be greatly appreciated.